All right, here we go. OG Tray Deee, welcome back.
What's good, young Vlad?
Hey, I always love these conversations that we have, as do millions of other people.
That's wonderful because
Each
I
and
do.
every time.
I enjoy myself actually. You know what I mean?
Likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's do it.
Well, the biggest thing right now, especially in LA, is rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Man, 8/24.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had my whole household in tears for about 2 or 3 days. I never met the man. Nobody in my family, you know what I mean? My mother was a major Kobe Bryant fan, rest in peace herself, you know what I mean? Yeah, she passed in like 2012 when I was in prison. And yeah, Kobe, man, we watched him grow up. You know what I'm saying? I heard somebody say that, and that's really what it was. You know, we watched him grow from a little 17-year-old kid, you know, to just being one of the best in the world at what he did. Just period. Just being an all-around wonderful person. You know what I mean? And it's a shame that people want to always dredge up something bad about a good person. You know what I mean? That was resolved. You can't. They say it's innocent till proven guilty in America, and he was never proven guilty. You know what I mean? He settled out of court with the little chick about the sexual thing, and he said right on TV sitting next to his wife, well, I thought it was consensual, but reviewing the thing, I can see how she probably didn't take it that way, and I apologize, whatever. And they went on and they moved past it. Now you want to tarnish his legacy by keeping that attached to, his eulogy. And that's so not cool.
Well, Gayle King, she did an interview recently with Lisa Leslie, where she brought up whether the rape allegations against Kobe is going to tarnish his legacy. And Lisa actually handled it very well. You watched the interview?
Not the whole interview. I watched Gayle's apology, though.
No, before that, when she was actually interviewing.
Excuse me, no, I didn't.
Lisa Leslie. And Lisa was like, no, I don't think it's going to tarnish his legacy. We should just leave that back there. And Kobe wasn't that type of guy. Like, when he was around me, he wasn't trying to holler at all the women and everything like some of the other basketball players that she knew. And no, like she kind of played it off very well, and all hell broke loose over that interview.
Yeah. Well, Gayle explained that they had only used the excerpt from it, like the worst part of it, and made it seem like, she was the one that was addressing this solely without actually taking the time to objectify everything. It was just like, it seemed like she led in on that, but that she's saying that's not really how the interview unfolded. It was a wide-ranging thing that was spoke on before they even got to that topic. And
Doesn't matter.
It don't really matter.
It
don't really matter. But when you condemning somebody though, and then you vilifying somebody for something that they said, if they don't get the right to express how how they actually intended what they said, or what they meant by what they said, or how it played in the context of the overall, then you kind of cheating them to, not even the benefit of the doubt. You kind of cheating them a fair chance.
Well, I do interviews for a living.
You do. You do.
So
you do.
I'm going to speak from a stance of, experience here.
Gotcha.
The way she phrased that and the way she talked about it, she knew exactly what she was doing.
Okay.
Regardless of where in that interview that part was, the fact that she put that in there and touched on it in the way that she did was very intentional and very, she was trying to get those headlines by phrasing it in that way.
I'm glad you said the way that she did, because any journalist worth their salt gotta at least mention it. Or if you're telling his whole story, you can't really omit that part.
You can't omit that part. But, I interviewed John Sally,
right,
who was Kobe's teammate and friend.
Right.
And John was crying at the start of the interview, talking about how we first found out and so forth. And at certain points in the interview, he does touch on that. He said, yeah, after the Colorado incident,
no, it's definitely professional ways to insert
that's when
it.
Kobe changed his number from 8 to 24. And he explained how the 24 is, 2 4s is an 8. And it's also one more than Jordan, but and so forth. So we do touch on it.
Got you.
But we don't say, well, do you think that because this white girl accused him of some shit that never went to court, and she had like 8 different types of semen inside her.
All that.
And, at that, and, and how it really just went nowhere. And it hasn't even really been mentioned in years. When is the last time you heard
decades.
Someone talk about Kobe's rape allegation? I literally, you've forgotten about it. It's so long ago.
Yeah.
It's never, this is not R. Kelly who he may have beaten something, but he keeps doing it over and over again. You've never heard of anything of that sort.
Never.
In Kobe's future after that.
True.
At all.
Not
ever.
At all. Not at all. Yeah.
Michael Jackson, you hear about the child allegations, he kept hanging out with kids.
He did.
R. Kelly, you hear about the whole underage thing, he kept hanging out with underage girls.
He did.
You
saw it. You saw it for yourself.
You could say what you want about them.
Extrapolate
but when it comes to Kobe, you hear about the situation. There's a lot of attention. It goes away. The charges get dropped. He walks away from this thing. He stays married with his wife. He has a bunch more kids. And you do not hear of Kobe messing with anybody outside of his wife.
Not at all. Not at all. No illusions of impropriety whatsoever.
Yeah. So to suddenly say...
And a lot of these journalists, though, Vlad, and be honest, they didn't speak on it or they didn't make an issue of it because they would have loved to sit down and have an interview with Kobe Bryant or be welcomed into one of his camps or, while he was at the Mamba Academy or something like that. They would have loved to be invited to something like that. So they didn't want to blackball and ostracize themselves by keeping something in the air that had already been resolved.
Yeah, I mean...
It had been resolved. It was resolved. It had been
resolved. And, at the end of the day...
when do we close the book on it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's really the blackballing thing, because honestly, I mean, me and Kobe went back and forth, a few months ago. Right. He had made some comments about some of the young girls he was coaching, and we sort of called him out on it, and he responded to me and said that's not how he meant it and so forth like that publicly.
Right.
I assumed I was never getting a Kobe interview. It is what it is. Like, right. I didn't care. Like, right. At the end of the day, I don't know if people are worried about getting blackballed. I think it's more like there's really nothing to talk about. It's like, okay, this was in the past.
Yeah, why would you bring up something at all? I get you.
So for suddenly for this to be a focal point,
yeah,
it was not a focal point during his life. Now, if R. Kelly dies, yeah, everyone's going to talk about the underage shit. That was a focal point through a lot of his life.
Yeah.
Same thing with Michael Jackson.
Right.
That will never go away. That will be part of their legacy.
Well, it seemed like when you pass, it seemed like any dirt that they can throw on you, they're going to throw on you, especially a black man. Man, there's some of these fashion designers and heads of state and all kinds of things that had so many allegations and so many, taints to their character throughout their legacy, but that's glossed over when they pass. Oh, this great man, here he lies in state and everybody come pay homage to him. And, come on, man, this bullshit, man. It's a double standard, man. You know what I mean?